All right, this is CIS 125, and today we are actually working our way towards the end of the term. So we're in week 12, and we're talking about modules and functions. Okay. So they were supposed to, the students, first of all, we started off, in terms of modules, they looked up cohesion and they looked up coupling. Our goal is to have high cohesion. The module does one specific task, and loose coupling. The module is very much not dependent upon other parts of the program. So if it's loosely coupled, it's not tied into the rest of the code or the calling code or whatever, but high cohesion. It doesn't do lots of different things. It does one thing specifically. This is huge. This came out of the late 60s, 70s, when the big push for structure and design programming. And so it's very important to think about that when we're creating our code. I gave an example that I received from one of my boys about Python being used, about just a simple real-life deal about managing GPS in the realm of I think those were sheriff cars, deputy cars, and then we talked about measurements in terms of cancer treatment, having large amounts. Python and why Python was slow in doing that. All right, so then we got talking about one of the assignments. One of the assignments we were working on had to do with a payroll. And so we have some examples submitted, and here we have the main line. This was week 11 work. Initialization, and then we just on the board said we could call a gross pay module, we could call a deductions module, and the report module. Start and stop. Then same thing over here, initialization, we have the gross pay module, and we can call salary, that'd be an easy module to design, commission, those that pay by commission, and wage. And so coming out of this module would be the gross pay. And then that gross pay would be used in a module to calculate FICA. As an example, this was the deduction group here. So deduction, initialization, and FICA. And then we didn't finish this one. This one has more down here, but we talked about FICA. FICA was an easy example. And then we made reference to the fact that if this module figures FICA and nothing else, it would have high cohesion, and the only thing it's dependent upon was gross pay from the other module, and then it could just produce its result, then we could say it's loosely coupled. It doesn't have lots of dependencies on other code. We talked about some functions that already exist, and we're going to define more on Wednesday, functions and modules, and also start in on file access, which is not very difficult. We're going to do basic file access on Wednesday. Sequential file, create it and read values from it. So terminology wise, we talk about parameters. We have parameters. And then, so we have some, maybe 2 or 3 in this. We probably just have an array that we're going to sort. Here we might have some formula. We're going to take the integer of that. So we have the parameters, and the parameters are passed to in this case, to the function. The function performs the operation. The values in the parameters are called the arguments. We talked, this is really a big deal. We talked about, we have a variable that's local to the local to the process, or in our case either the function or the module. It has value there, or a variable can have value throughout the entire program, the entire code. So it can be global, and we're going to work more on that as we continue the next couple weeks, or global. And we start using modules more and more. This is in a byte of Python. I just grabbed some partial. Here it talks about functions. Okay, and it talks about the stuff we were talking about. It's known as the calling the function. They have an example they gave earlier in terms of functions, and then if we look down, we talked about function parameters, and I thought they gave a nice definition in terms of parameters are specified within a pair of parentheses. This is now using Python. So now we're talking about, this was right from a byte of Python. Pair of parentheses, and the names given to the function, they're called parameters, whereas the values are the arguments. All right, and so that is the review of today, Monday, in week 12.